McFarlane, the legal genie. Helping you with legal ways.
Here's your host, Dustin McFarlane.
Promissory note. So that if that house ever sells, you can at least be reimbursed. How about that? That'd be nice. If you want to take time off work and take care of your mom, fine. That's a good thing to do. But if you think you might want to be reimbursed for that later, have your mom hire you. Write a contract. Do it so that everyone knows what's going on. You can't just tell your siblings, hey, I took time off work, and so I should get an extra $50,000 for doing all this stuff. Plus, I put a new roof on the house, so tack another $25,000 on top of that. Like, that's just, the judge in a probate court won't buy it. Your siblings are going to tell you to go pound sand. It is going to be a problem. Get everything in writing. Don't spend a ton of your money on your parents' property unless you know. Now, if you don't care about getting the money back, spend it. Like, whatever. I don't care. But if you think, man, this is a stretch. I really need to get this money back. When my mom passes away, where does that money come from? Well, your siblings aren't going to write you a check. And you think, well, I'll just inherit the house and I can rent it or live in it or whatever. Like, that's cool. But if that's what your mom wants to do, let's make sure that happens. Just whispering some sweet intention in your ear is not enough. You taking time off work and taking care of your parents, not enough. You improving the house, not enough. You know what is enough? Writing it down in a trust. That's enough. That will get you there. You want to get reimbursed? Do a promissory note. You want to get reimbursed for your time and your care for your mom? Write a contract. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, like, Dustin, how cruel. I'm helping my mother out of the goodness of my heart because I love her. Okay, fine. Don't get paid. I don't care. But if you think, man, I'm missing work. I having a tough time paying my car insurance. I'm only making minimum payments on my credit cards. Like, this is tough. Well, then have your mom pay you, or let's figure out what that looks like. Maybe you get paid out of the trust when the house sells. But let's put that in place now and not try to make it up after the fact. Somebody just walked into my office just about a week ago, and he said, my mom died. I've been living in and I've been renting the house for like 4 years. Mom died years ago. And he goes, I'm going to keep the house, and I just got to put it in my name so I can get a loan and finish the construction. That's not okay. Tell me about the kids. And he said, well, I have 2 sisters, and they don't want anything to do. I mean, it's like every single time. They don't want anything to do with the house, and they live back east. They didn't take care of my mom, so I'm just going to keep everything, and they said that's okay. And I said, well, do they not like money? He kind of was puzzled. I'm like, you have to give them their share. The court is really, it's really difficult to get the court to just not require you to give them their share. And he goes, well, we can just own the house together. I'm like, really? You want to put all 3 names on the deed? Really, that's what you're going to do? I go, how close are you to your sisters? Well, not very. Do you get along with them? No. Do you call them at Christmas? No. Do you call them on their birthday? No. Do they call you? No. Do your kids get along? I mean, do the cousins ever call and talk to each other? No, no, no. So you have virtually no relationship with these women. Right. And you want to co-own a business property with them and think that that's going to go well? Like, what part of that sounds like a good idea? And they start to kind of unpack and look at all of the components. When we lay it out all on the table, co-owning a property with somebody who you're not close with, it's probably a bad idea anyway. But, add family, add drama, add, childhood, resentment, add spouses whispering in their ear things that may or may not be true. Like, it is just bad on all levels. So I told this gentleman, I can't make this happen without giving them their share. And he couldn't. I mean, it was almost sad. He couldn't understand why he was being punished, and that's how he looked at it. He was being punished for taking care of his mom, and his siblings were getting exactly what he was getting. I told him the law is not punishing you. It's not discriminating against you. The law does not know you exist. The only thing the law knows is your mom has 3 children, 1 house, and died without a trust or a will. That means that everyone in all of the kids get an equal share. And that's all the law knows. And I mean, he kind of just walked out of my office crestfallen. He didn't have the money to pay for it. He didn't have the money to buy out his siblings. He couldn't get a loan without going through a probate, and he didn't want to do the probate because he didn't want them to have anything. You see the problems this causes? Like, this is not just like a commercial to come in and get your affairs in order. This is keep family harmony. I mean, that's why we do this stuff, is to try to find solutions that meet family needs. And there's not a right solution or a wrong solution. It's whatever fits you. That's what we're trying to accomplish. Whatever fits you. And I don't know what that is. We have to sit down and go over it together. What I do know is that when you don't do anything, then feelings get hurt, there's misunderstandings, and people just don't know what's going on. Just recently, I helped a family member who's aging, and she's over 90, so that's like she's still aging fairly well, actually. Doing pretty well, all things considered. And she doesn't have much, but I know that there's 5 or 6 or maybe 10 heirloom items that her family is going to want, and more than one person wants the same thing. And again, we're not just going to get a saw and cut some of the furniture in half, and here, you get half the chair and you get the other half of the chair, and you get half the table and you get the other half of the table. Like, that makes no sense. And yet these people, these family members are starting to call her and say, "Hey, Grandma, I'd really like that heirloom, that sentimental, that family picture of so-and-so. I'd like that rocking chair that's been in the family for 100 years. I'd like," and they're putting in requests like they're going through the drive-thru. Like, are you kidding me? I mean, she still sits in those chairs, and they're treating it as if like, "Hey, when you go, I want that." And like they think she's going to go and put a Post-it note on it, or write on a Sharpie, to Jane or to Susie. That's just not how it works. And what it really does is it puts the kids at odds. And think about this: we have grandkids already. We have putting in order requests for stuff. And mind you, in this case, the stuff has almost zero monetary value. It's worth nothing. In fact, I would argue that moving it across, moving a piano 1,000 miles, that piano is actually a liability. Like, you'd be money ahead giving that piano to Goodwill, just because moving it 1,000 miles is so expensive compared to what the piano is worth. But whatever. Like, I'm not arguing that. I'm saying
New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Helping you with legal way.